We have another tale for you today, members of the XRP group, and it is another one that is really interesting. To add insult to injury, it appears that the lawsuit against Ethereum has been dismissed as if it were dropped right off the floor. Having said that, moreover, the news of the day is not exactly the topic of this video. In terms of narratives, it focuses primarily on discussing the events that have been taking place. At this very moment, I am able to confirm that such articles do not pertain to XRP, a never-ending stream of fascinating information. In the event that you have not already done so, kindly click the like button. In my opinion, we ought to just dive right in. The first one was about the possibility of XRP reaching $1,000. JP Morgan is responsible for managing $10 trillion on a daily basis, according to an expert. Permit me to add one more thing. You can make a compelling argument for XRP by providing me with a lot of information on how it is performing in comparison to other markets. However, I will not pay attention to anyone who asserts that XRP at $1,000 in the near future makes sense. You can also be absolutely certain that it makes sense over a period of time, say 25 years, but that is not the matter at hand in this discussion. Yes, individuals such as Warren Buffett do take into consideration the possibilities of a company over the next 10 years as well as the little longer term future. Considering that cryptocurrency is still in its infancy, I do not believe that you should look any further than 5 years into the future when it comes to these investments, because the market will probably be so changed by then because of ETFs and institutions being involved that you'll need to reconsider your strategy altogether in say 5 to 10 years, but maybe already in 3 or 4. Additionally, I recall a time when XRP was receiving a great deal of outlandish hype regarding its potential future pricing. When compared to how things are now, things were a great deal more interesting back then. The concept behind this was that JP Morgan's cross-border transfers moved $10 trillion per day, or merely JP Morgan moving $10 trillion every day, which are obviously enormous figures. However, it was concluded that this may push XRP to 1,000, despite the fact that this was the idea behind this. Take into consideration the amount of money that will be transferred through XRP on a daily basis as a bridge currency for a number of banks, in regard to which I am uncertain. However, when I make a glance at the numbers, there are still a lot of people who adore these quotes. It is one that says, hey, we all said Ripple would go for an IPO soon, especially since the SEC lawsuit might be over soon or is very close to being over. This is the one that I believe is a little more fascinating than the others. We just had a conversation about how the fine, or at the very least the portion of the problem that has to be fixed, could be sped up a little bit or can be reduced by a significant amount from 2 billion to what? 100 million, if not 10 million as a minimum. In addition, given that the Ethereum lawsuit was dismissed, it is possible that they will also dismiss the Ripple case. They have already reached this point, therefore I don't believe it to be the case, but it is possible. If you are wondering where it might go or where it ought to go after Ripple becomes public, I don't think it's as insane as you should think it is. On the other hand, after reading the article, I felt compelled to tell you the truth once more, ladies and gentlemen. From what I can tell from reading the comments, a significant number of people want me to simply delete all of these strange ideas, analyses, and dates. However, I believe that we should only discuss topics that are logically sound. That is the most essential aspect to consider. It is said in this piece of writing that the current value of Ripple shares is approximately $40. There are a lot of people who believe that it will go to $100, which is equivalent to 2.5 times if they follow through with their first public offering. XRP would be worth approximately $1.20 it performed the same function. Although I do not wish to be that guy I'm compelled to be, at this moment I am not concerned about $1.20 of XRP. Alright, let's face the facts. How long ago was that? Exactly. Around 7 years have passed since we last witnessed skyscraping heights. When it reaches $20, I will know that it is no longer a secure coin. On the other hand, you won't see me making it as big of a thing as I did when Ripple stock was doing so well. Simply said, the movement of stock prices is not very significant. I want to be really honest with you, especially for those of you who are not very knowledgeable about purchasing. Nevertheless, this is not advice regarding finances. On the other hand, I feel that there are certain individuals that appreciate the way that I perceive these cryptos. In addition to the plans and investments there are, for instance, Linda Jones, a well-known Wall Street veteran, which by the way is not a term, stated that if Ripple were to trade at $600 per share, it would be because it possesses a large number of XRP, right? After then, the narrative adds that if XP were to do the same thing, the price would increase from 50 cents to $7, but that's not the case. From a theoretical standpoint, if the price of XRP continued to rise, then the price of Ripple shares would also continue this upward trend. The reason for this is that they have such a large amount of XRP that this study might go on and on. You would be required to perform another calculation which would result in a loop that would never end. Therefore, in order for Ripple's XRP holdings to become more equal, the company's stock would need to increase at some point in the future. On the other hand, the price of the XRP holdings would not necessarily increase as a result of it, or at the very least that wouldn't make sense until everything was considered equal. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, I believe that within the next few months, when the cryptocurrency market begins to go upward once more, all alternative cryptocurrencies, including your XRP, will perform exceptionally well. Nevertheless, the time to purchase them is not right now. And what I said yesterday, for instance, was that things like phantom stocks, I can't remember the other word, had a feeling that they were all oversold right now, so it made sense for them to do well again. I can't remember the other name. In light of what I mentioned the day before, there is one more thing that I want you to comprehend. Making money on the way back up is a very regular occurrence if you only buy alternative cryptocurrencies when they are falling, such as when prices are falling by a significant amount. Seeing a little more in the future is only a matter of being determined and making sense, because what goes down must come up. It is inevitable that something will come up. When things are red, you should get thrilled. It is normal to feel a little uneasy when things are green. Then we have a strong belief in something and take action based on that belief, and then we analyze XRP in the same manner over a longer period of time. It will most likely engage in some kind of wacky behavior, although it may take some time for it to manifest itself. We saw the same thing last night if you bought yesterday, as the majority of people are thinking you should just stick with it, or at the very least not sell while things are so awful. As we mentioned to you the day before, you should make a purchase whenever there is blood on the streets. Above all else, however, we emphasize that you should not quit up on a day that is red. You should also have a very strong reason for giving up, as well as a strategy for what you will do when you give up. A rise in the market is not occurring. All things considered, to put it another way, let me say it, alternate coin season has not yet arrived, for example, $20 worth of XRP and so on. The purpose of all of this is to prepare for the situation in which the price skyrockets and we need to determine where the highest point will be. When we are at the bottom, there is no point in thinking about where the first leg up will end up, since it is not meaningful. The questions that are more significant are when the move will take place, what kind of sign or how strong that first spike will be, and whether or not we should be in before that goes through. Alternately, is it still acceptable to come in when it is taking place? With regard to XRP, I have stated that I believe it is still possible to enter the market until the market begins to move swiftly again, which will occur when Bitcoin's price begins to rise once more. I have stated this before, it is quite unlikely that you will ever have a complete comprehension of the reasons for the decline in the market. A significant amount of the wild stuff that is going on is frequently carried out behind closed doors. One of the ideas that a few individuals have been considering is that a number of significant doors that were closed during the bull market in 2021 are now starting to open. So when they put money into the game, let's say 3 years ago, all of a sudden some insane unlocks started to occur. In this location, we are able to see a portion of that by tapping token unlocks on CMC and in a few other locations. It is only since Pendle has unlocks every single